So the number one rule to dressing like a man with class is not to just throw on a sports jacket. Now, if you've watched a few of my videos, you probably know that I think sports jackets can solve most of the world's problems. I mean, they build up your shoulders, make you look taller, slim up your silhouette. And in a room of men all just wearing a dress shirt and a necktie, you walk in with a sports jacket, you look like the man in charge. And don't even get me started about the color and fabric options. Just look at some of these beautiful weaves, some of these beautiful patterns. What's great about this is that a good sports jacket works with jeans, it works with gray flannels, it works with dress slacks, it works with chinos. Yeah, you could even try pulling it off with shorts. Nope, just kidding. Unless you're in the Bahamas, and if you're gonna pull off that look, make sure to wear it with the right socks and a blazer. But seriously, gents, a good sports jacket, good blazer, it's gonna elevate your look. But it's not the number one rule if you wanna look sophisticated, if you wanna dress classy. What is it? Find out, gents, in today's video. All right, so maybe the number one rule to dress classy is something simple, like wearing a shirt with a collar. Now, men of means have been using shirt collars for hundreds of years to properly frame the face. Wearing a particular type of collar was often seen as you were a man of wealth, you were a man of status. Seriously, this ruffle collar right here was all the rage back in the 16th century, and it actually cost as much to make one of these collars as what the average person would earn in a year. That being said, modern collars are a lot simpler. That being said, they do have a variety of parts, as you can see from this infographic right here, but there are really two factors that affect the style of a collar. It's going to be the collar point length, and it's going to be the angle, the spread right there of the collar. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but it deserves to be highlighted again, and the power of a collar is it frames the face. Whenever you're engaging with somebody, what do you want? You want them to talk to you face to face. You want them to see the expressions, and a good collar does an excellent job of keeping the eyes focused where they need to be. All that being said, when putting together an elegant look, the collar is not the most important thing. It's important, but there are other things to consider. Color being one of them. Now, in general, a wardrobe should consist mostly of darker colors, especially when it comes to your trousers, when it comes to your jackets, because of just simply the practicality of keeping them clean, of knowing that you're going to rub into things that, yeah, you want something that can get a little bit of a stain on it and really not notice. That being said, when it comes to brighter, when it comes to colors that grab attention, I use them like a spice, but you want to understand which colors are going to work for you and your complexion. And if you're ever in doubt, simply go with white. When it comes to shirts, it's going to be the dressiest and the most versatile. Light blue is a close second, but it just grabs attention, especially when used in small quantities. This pocket square right here, a lot of you guys probably noticed it, and that's because it stands out. It has contrast with the dark outfit. Now, so far in this video, I've talked a lot about collars, shirts, and colors. And gents, if you're in the market for a great shirt that is going to work in your wardrobe and really level it up, you need to check out Collars & Co. Now, gents, I've been talking about this company for the last year because I love what they do. They basically allow you to wear a collared dress shirt without having to wear a dress shirt. This is a polo shirt, the shirt I'm wearing right here, with this strong collar, great front placket, which actually doesn't go down all the way, so it looks like a polo. But this is a shirt, because of the strong collar, that you can dress up, you can layer, you can make fit into your wardrobe. At the same time, if you're a heavier guy, or you just simply get hot, you want to wear something cooler, you don't want to wear a full-on dress shirt, this is the shirt you've been looking for. And I know this is an issue because I've got dress shirts that when I put them on, sometimes they just don't fit right, they don't have the stretch fabric, they actually get hot and sweaty, and you don't want to layer with something like that. What I love about this is it has a very breathable, four-stretch fabric. It has a collar that's comfortable, that looks good, so whenever you pull that sweater over, whenever you put that sports jacket on, or you go for that combination together, what you've got here is a layered piece that looks amazing. And if it's too hot to layer, you just simply want to wear these shirts by themselves. They make for great looking polos that you can still pull off with shorts. In fact, here's a picture of me. Yeah, it was relatively warm, and yes, I'm wearing a sports jacket, but guys, this right here was the baptism of my daughter Marina. As you can see here, I love their clothing enough that I wear it to the most important events in my life. And if you're a traveler like me, you're going to love how the fabric is resistant to wrinkles. So you can throw this in your bag and not worry about it. Whenever you get to your hotel, take it out, hang it up for a few minutes, and boom, it looks good. You put it on and you don't have to pull out the iron. Oh, and they were on Shark Tank. So if you want to learn more about their story, you want to see their pitch, type in Collars & Co. Shark Tank and you'll find it. Gents, if you can't tell, I absolutely love this company and I want to make sure you get the best deal on the web. Guys, I've got a special deal for you down in the description of today's video. Use that link and go over to Collars & Co. and grab your first shirt. Awesome company. I'm proud to support them. Let's get back to the content. Now, this next tip, to dress like a man with class, is definitely not the number one rule, but I want to talk about it anyway because I think it's something a lot of guys overlook or they stay away from, and that is tortoise shell. Now, of course, I'm not talking about the real thing. That has been outlawed for decades, thank goodness. What I'm talking about here is the tortoise shell pattern. This pattern right here is something a lot of guys see, but they are not familiar with, so they don't bring into their wardrobes. And for me, especially on sunglasses, other accessories, is just something that really has a great look to it and a storied history. For over 3,000 years, human beings have been using the tortoise shell pattern in furniture, in instruments, and accessories, and it has been associated with wealth since the beginning. So if you're in the market for a new pair of sunglasses, give tortoiseshell a look. Maybe the number one rule to looking like a man of class is to smell like a man of class. If that's the case, let me give you a list of fragrances I think would be great for a sophisticated man. First up, we've got Hermes H24. Simple, clean, elegant, versatile. Next up, we've got Green Irish Tweed by Creed. Classic, bright, masculine. You can't go wrong with this one. Next up, we got Bleu de Chanel by Chanel. Right here, I've got the Eau de Parfum. You're also going to see the Eau de Toilette and the Parfum. For me, they're all very similar. I do think the Parfum and the Eau de Parfum, though, are a bit, there's just something about them that levels them up, and I think for the older, more classy guy. Maybe you want a classic English scent? Then look no farther to Penhaligon's Sartorial. This makes you smell like you just came out of a classic men's barbershop. Perhaps you want a powdery office fragrance that screams quality. Check out Prada L'Homme. And for me, the fragrance I'm wearing today that got me in the mood for today's video, Dior Homme Intense. All that being said, fragrance is not the number one rule to looking classy. All right, Antonio, what about gray flannels? Now, for years, I've talked about gray flannels, and I love them because you can dress them up. You can relatively dress them down, but they go with pretty much anything. And as you guys know, there's 50 shades of gray, but seriously, you've got light gray, you've got medium gray, you've got dark gray, and yes, there are many other shades of gray, but it's a non-color. So you can wear it with pretty much any jacket, you can wear it with any shirt, any type of trouser, and it's going to work. And gray flannel, especially during the colder months, we're talking fall, winter, and spring, this is perfect because it's got that napped weave. It not only keeps you warm, but that texture, it just really sets it apart from all other trousers out there. All that being said, gray flannels are amazing. They're awesome, but they're not the number one way to make sure you've got a sophisticated look. Maybe it's bringing in deep, rich colors. Taking the hues, and if you're familiar with colors, all colors are basically the base colors there are hues. Then if you add a bit of white, you've got tints. If you add a bit of black, you've got what's known as a shade. And usually shades are going to be colors that have that deep richness to them. That's going to be your maroons. That's going to be that really dark, rich greens. That's going to be, yes, our really dark, deep blues. Now, colors historically have had a very important role to play in class distinction. We would see purple, which was actually made from snails, and it was a very labor-intensive process, and it would expose people to certain chemicals and things that could make them sick, hence why it was pretty much only royalty for the longest time wore purple. And I know in Viking culture, we also saw that with blue, but these were colors that are almost viewed as magical that people could create. And they were viewed as, yes, as something that only people of wealth, only men of means were actually able to wear. And personally, I love wearing these deep, rich hues, especially in green and purple. I really think it sets your wardrobe apart, but it is not the number one rule to look elegant and sophisticated. Is it getting back to the basics? We're talking about fit. You know the style pyramid. Fit, fabric, and function. And when it comes to the king of those three, I always say that fit, you've got to nail that. I will say that fit is king. It's incredibly important, and you need to nail it because, guys, you can go out there and buy a $2,000 suit, but if you got a $200 suit that fits you better, it is going to look better. So you always want to nail the fit, and this applies to even your casual clothing, your jeans. If you're going to buy a shirt, just simply a t-shirt off the rack, make sure it fits you properly. It doesn't matter if it's 90% on sale. If it doesn't fit you, it's not going to look good. That being said, fit is not the number one rule to looking elegant and sophisticated. So perhaps the number one rule has nothing to do with image or style at all, but more your behaviorisms, your mannerisms. I will say that by slowing things down, the way that you speak, the way that you move, you will come off as more elegant. And it's something that if you ever watch somebody that's in control, somebody that's a leader, they're not hurried, they're not nervous looking, they look like they are actually very laid back, their breathing is fine, and this is something I do recommend. Now in my videos, I know I talk quickly, but if I really want to make a point, I slow it down. And it's something that you should think of, hey, if I'm going to be leading a team, if I want to come off as elegant when I'm giving a presentation? Is it something that I can slow down and I can emphasize the points? I even have one friend, she coaches high-level execs on how to give presentations. One of the things that she does early on is she helps them think of an animal when they're on stage that they should move like. Because sometimes people think they're clumsy, they're like an elephant walking around just loud. She's like, no, act and think of yourself as a panther. How would a panther move? And that's how the person walks. It sounds strange, but when you envision yourself as moving like this stealthy cat, all of a sudden you're slow, you're calculated, you're in charge, you are just simply moving, ready to pounce when needed. And all that's great information, slowing down your moves, slowing down your speech to look more elegant, to look like a man of class, but it's not the number one rule. All right, gents, I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but I wanna hear from you down in the comments. What are you doing to be your best self? I've got some challenge coins I would love to send your way to men that are really taking steps and need maybe a daily reminder they can keep in their pocket to remind themselves of what they stand for, of how they want to be better men. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and smash that like button. This always helps it reach more people, and I appreciate you guys supporting us. All right, gents, you ready for it? The number one rule to dressing like a man of class is to be a man of class, to understand who you are and every day work to be that man. I know, a little bit anticlimactic because it's not a particular piece of clothing. It's not a particular skill. Now, it's taken everything in this video and this will help. But first up, you've got to know who you are and what you want to get out of this one life and live and practice every day being that man. And I don't care if you're a plumber. And yeah, you don't need to wear a sports jacket, but maybe you do because your little girl, she's got a big event this weekend and you want to dress nice for that ballet. She's been practicing for 3 months. You want to just not show up like you're an outsider with your dirty hands. You're going to clean yourself up. You're going to look good for her because she matters to you. And guys, that's what I talk about here at Real Men Real Style is you know who you are and you have a vision of the man that you can be. And that man has class. No matter how he dresses, no matter what kind of work he does, you have a vision of your best self. And so practice being that best self. And part of it is I look at you as a diamond, as a man. You know, a diamond in nature, it's not shiny because it hasn't been cut. It hasn't been shined. And that's what you need to work on. And this is what about image and presentation I talk about. Again, whether you decide to wear a suit, whether you decide to, hey, I want to simply wear casual clothing. And for you, that's a dark button down with nice denim with boots. If that's your look, go for it. Maybe you're into Western wear. Maybe you're into, I don't know, rockabilly, whatever it may be. Make sure that you own your style and you own that look because you can dress like a man of class, a sophisticated man in any of those if you understand, hey, this is how I want to present my look. This is going to work for my body. This is simply going to work for the message I'm trying to send. So gentlemen, hopefully that makes sense. Practice being the man that you know yourself to be, and sooner or later you are going to wake up and you are actually going to be that man because we become what we practice. Our habits are our destiny. So develop the habit of being the best you. All right, Jen, so what video to watch next? How about the number one rule to always looking strong and powerful? This video actually is doing really well. It's a solid video. I think you're going to enjoy it. Go check it out. It is a good video. And yes, when you click here, you will magically go to the next video. I love the way YouTube works.